A Westside pastor whose church was recently burglarized says he wants religion put back into the school system. Pastor Gary Wiggins of the Evangel Temple says the South Carolina church massacre is just another example of how people are disregarding and disrespecting the church. We talked to a local attorney about the pastor's opinion and why he says the same goal can be accomplished without including religion.
I cannot imagine stealing because I was brought up in a culture, thou shalt not steal.
It's just one of the reasons why Pastor Gary Wiggins was so sickened to learn that his church had been burglarized. This surveillance video shows a man breaking in to the Evangel Temple in late May, stealing $15,000 worth of equipment from the maintenance building. Wiggins says that theft and the recent shootings of 9 people in a South Carolina church are just a few signs that some in society have no reverence for a house of worship. He says one of the answers is to put religion back in public schools.
When you take moral codes, spiritual codes, 10 commandments out of children's lives and they're not taught, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, you eventually raise a generation that those principles don't mean anything to them.
Wiggins says he hopes his planned messages at the pulpit will catch on among politicians. But attorney and Professor Rod Sullivan says the separation of church and state will never change in the United States.
Clearly, there are people who believe there should be a complete secularism of public schools, and then there are other people who believe that a particular religious belief needs to be taught. But the fact is that almost all religions have the same basic code of ethics.
Sullivan says religious concepts can be taught outside of a religious context. He says focusing on one religion can ostracize others and ultimately defeat the pastor's purpose.
There is nothing wrong with a public school teaching about what is right and what is wrong and teaching about ethics and morality. The only thing they can't do is they can't attach it to a particular religion. If they're teaching about morality and not talking about it as Judeo-Christian morality, it's absolutely fine.
Locally, our school systems, teachers, and administrators, of course, do teach students what is right and what is wrong, but it is typically under the umbrella of the student's code of conduct or a student's rights and responsibilities.